Hey everyone, this is Karen Blanc. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk about seeing challenges as opportunities and using them as a path for growth. So I want to kick this off with a quote from one of Drake's new songs where he says, "Bring on the problems." And I love this line because it just reminds me of something that it's a quality in people I really admire. It just reminds me of people who I consider successful in different parts of their lives. They really have this challenge factor, as I like to call it. And the way they view challenges is different than other people. And that's what I really admire. They really view this group of people, this special group of people, they view challenges as an opportunity to use a different part of themselves than they typically get to use. So let's say they hit a bump in the road, something happens, they think to themselves like, okay, well, now's an opportunity to be creative. Now I have to use my creativity a little more than I usually do, right? Or now's an opportunity to be more loving, more grateful, more helpful. Well, okay, this is an opportunity. I just have to serve more. And I really love this approach because so many of us, we're caught in this victim mentality when challenges come. It's doomsday. It's our opportunity for the pity party, right? That's how we see challenges. And I want to talk about the two types of thinking that typically we turn to when challenges pop up. So one is perfectionist thinking. So this kind of thinking says something must be wrong. If I have a problem, something must be wrong. Something must be wrong with me. Something must be wrong with life itself. Something must be wrong with other people. Something must be wrong with the system. And this is a problem because it really lends ourselves to shame, right? We're just filled with shame all the time because we think we did something to deserve this, or life must be so cruel that this is happening to us. And then the second type of thinking that is pretty common when it comes to challenges is childish thinking. And this thinking sounds like problems aren't supposed to happen to me. It's like, why is this happening to me? I'm not supposed to have problems. I did everything right in my life. Why is this happening to me? And I fall into both of these patterns at different times. I grew up in a household where people didn't talk about their problems. So from my perspective, we didn't have any problems. Other people had problems, but we didn't have any, and if we did, we didn't talk about them. We swept them under the rug. So I really grew up with this fear and aversion to problems. And not only that, it led to an incredible amount of isolation and loneliness because anytime I did have a problem, I thought something was wrong with me and I didn't think there was anyone I could turn to. And this creates it creates a ripple effect in our lives. So not only do we have to deal with the aftermath of being isolated and lonely and all of that, but it doesn't give us any tools to actually face our problems and to deal with them head on. And I want to insert a quote from Eckhart Tolle, and he says, "Accept the present moment as if you had chosen it." And I love this. That's like next level thinking, right? Accept the present moment as if you had chosen it. And I know some of you are listening to me and you're like, "But Karen, I didn't choose it," right? And I'm here to say, but it's happening. The very fact that it's happening, we often think that, oh, something must be wrong, but something might be incredibly right because you're facing this challenge. This challenge is not a sign that anything is wrong. And if you take away one thing from this video, that's what I want you to hear. If you have been confronted with a challenge or a problem, there is nothing wrong. Something actually may be going incredibly right. And we don't want to quit. We don't want to give up before the miracle shows up because we want to hang in there. So what are some of the benefits to challenges, right? I never thought I'd be doing a video on the benefits of challenges, but here it is, right? So number one, we want to use challenges as a path for spiritual growth. We really grow in challenges. We stretch ourselves. It allows us to tap into parts of ourselves that we don't get to tap into. There's a quote out there. I don't know who said this, but he says, "God asks no man if he wants life. The only choice we have is how to take it," right? So none of us asked to be here. None of us, not one of us asked to be here, but we're all here. We didn't, knock on our parents' doors as little eggs and, say like, please birth me into this world. None of us asked to be here, but we are all here, and it's a miracle we're here. It's a joyous occasion we're here. So the only choice we have left to ask ourselves, the only choice we have to make is how. How are we going to take life now that we're all here? And it's an incredible growth process as we look to change the way we think about challenges. I talk about this pretty often, but one thing that I've noticed is that when there's a particular challenge or something that needs to be healed in us or something from our past that we never confronted, life has a way of continually presenting the same challenge, the same opportunity until we find a way to deal with it differently, until we deal with it head on. Challenges are really put into our lives for us to transcend them, to transmute them. And that really starts with facing them and accepting them. And life has a funny way of, they say what you run from runs after you. I have found that to be true. Take it personally from somebody who is like a big avoider in my life. I just run from things that are hard and uncomfortable for me. And life will say, oh, this is uncomfortable for you. Here you go. I'm going to 10X it for you until you figure out how to deal with this. So it's an incredible opportunity for growth. The other benefit is that life is not fulfilling without challenges. Challenges, it really allows us to live a fulfilling life. It gives us purpose. It gives us it gives us great confidence in ourselves when we overcome a challenge that we didn't think we would be able to overcome. And when you look at people who either have avoided challenges for most of their lives, have not pushed themselves to their potential, or maybe just, got to a point in their lives where they were comfortable and just kind of coasted, there's a lack of aliveness in them. If you know anyone in this category, really look at them, have a conversation with them. You can kind of see that there's just a lack of aliveness. And in life, what I realize is that we're all looking for that feeling of being alive. And unfortunately, challenges, it's just one of those ways we get that feeling. And it brings us closer to other people. That's the other benefit, that when we overcome challenges through the help of other people, by leaning on other people, challenges with other people that we found a way to transcend, it fills us up with love and a sense of support. When I went through a big challenge in my life, I really saw how the people in my circle, the people around me, they were so incredible. And I think that's something for the most part that I took for granted because I had never really leaned on them. I always felt like I couldn't rely on people or that people would always disappoint you. And here were a group of people who really did not disappoint me. And opportunities like this, challenges like this, it gives us a great capacity to heal things like limiting beliefs, for example. That was a limiting belief of mine as it related to other people. And I just really saw that, when people really come together, incredible things happen. So the other thing I want to talk about is how differently people treat challenges in different parts of their lives. And I find this so interesting, how in one part of someone's lives, people can have this challenge factor, right? So maybe when it comes to work or their business, a challenge comes and they're all about it. They're energized by a challenge, right? They're like, great. Now's an opportunity to be creative. Let's put our creative solutions together, right? And they might be like that in work. But then when a challenge pops up in their personal lives, it's totally different. They start blaming the other person, right? They start, something must be terribly wrong with me. Love must not be for me. They start turning to their limiting beliefs, right? And vice versa. There are people I know who, when it comes to, they really understand the human condition, right? And what I mean by that is when it comes to human beings, they really understand that human beings are complex. So when a challenge shows up in their relationships, they're very accepting of the challenge. Well, you're dealing with human beings. people are complicated. What do you expect, right? And they have this friendliness towards life when even in the face of challenges with relationships. But then on the other end of the spectrum, you know, if they're not hitting a goal, if there is a personal goal, a career goal, then it's like, oh, the system must be rigged. They have a very different mindset. So that's another thing. That's another exercise for us to do here is let's explore how do we view challenges in different parts of our lives. Maybe we're very open to challenges in one part of our lives, and in another part of our lives, we throw ourselves a pity party, right? We really turn into the victim when it comes to that other part of our lives. So hope this helped. Check out my website, KarineBlanc.com, if you want to hear more, and check out my new online personal development course, Mindset Reset. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.